Hi everyone, my name is Alex. I'm the co-founder of World Clock Pro, and today I wanted to give you some thoughts on what are we building. You probably know one of our apps, World Clock Pro for Mac or for iOS. And today I'm going to talk about World Clock Pro 2 on iOS. So if you are only the Mac app user, make sure you check out our iOS app. It's already on the App Store, and this is the next version. So the idea behind the World Clock Pro is that we have a clock face that represents 24 hours, and you can rotate hands with your hand and see what the time difference will be at any given moment in time. So you can like forward the time, or you can reverse the time, and you will see all the other locations that you have on your clock adjust this accordingly, and that's how you can understand what the time will be in these different locations. Um, One thing that we were asking ourselves, and by the way, we have been building these apps since 2011, so it's been 12 years now. We are a little bit obsessed with it. It's our passion project, a pet project as well. We are a team of mobile designers and developers, so we work on a number of high-profile mobile apps out there as well. And with the World Clock, and especially with that new version, we have two goals. One is to help people be more effective when they're working remotely, right? Hopefully, create enough value for them so we can create a sustainable source of income out of it. Because we want to figure out how we can make a little bit more money from this so we can do more of it, because we love working on this stuff. So that's number one. So figuring out how can we deliver value to you. Please let us know. That would be great to understand what you are already finding valuable and what can we do better, or what features or what pain do you have that we potentially can take away. And the second reason is that we see how in the analog world there's lots of companies that are doing high-end watches, and there's just an incredible amount of craftsmanship that goes into creating those watches. Mostly they're Swiss companies. There's one Italian company called Unimatic as well, which we actually partnered with. They are our partner. You've probably seen it in the app. Their name mentioned, and they have a similar design philosophy, very minimalistic, and they create collectible watches. So yeah, you can check it out as well. But we've thought, well, what if there's software that had the same amount of attention to detail? What if we can be doing that? I don't know why. It's just because we like beautiful things, and maybe some people enjoy that. And maybe some people might not appreciate all the tiny details, but they will see the final product and they'll like hold it in their hand, and they'll think, "Oh wow, that's awesome." And that's all we want. Like that's what keeps us going every day. So the next version of World Clock will have a realistic dusk and dawn representation on the clock face. We have this very early prototype video here that is not ideal, like it's not fully representing what's going to happen. It's a bit less detailed than it will be in the end, but you can kind of get an idea of how this will change. And depending on the time of day, you'll see different shades, different gradient there. It will adjust to the location that you selected, so you can click on any of the hands to make that the selected hand, and then everything will adjust to that hand. So if you click here on San Francisco, the clock face will adjust to show that it's actually nighttime in San Francisco. Currently it's showing that it's sunrise in New York. Another thing is we are showing the correct times for sunrise and sunset, it also based on the selected location. And we also will be showing the correct moon phase as well. So like this little thing here, it's the moon, and of course we, being us, we will make sure that it is astronomically correct moon phase. The same way as we're doing with the shadow here as well, because as the Earth rotates around the sun, the shadow shape actually changes, and you can see it, like if you fast forward time very far in the future, say, you'll see that the shadow is actually changing shape according to the astronomical laws that we programmed into the app. So we are abandoning red and blue color coding and replacing it with yellow. So like all of the time shifts will be represented with yellow. You can release them just by pressing here. There's a new feature that allows you to add a notification, so you can get alerted when there's a certain time and a certain location. So you can just quickly remind yourself, like, hey, tell me when Dubai wakes up, or like when it's 3 p.m. in Dubai. You can add a note. You can repeat it daily. So we think that this is going to be a pretty useful feature. Another thing that we are doing is smart notifications. So we will send you a notification, and it will be all opt-in, so you can turn them on and off if they're not needed, of course. But you will be able to get notifications when there's holidays in your one of the selected locations that you have. If there's a time shift coming, so you can. It always happens to us when we wake up and go to a meeting. Like I'm in Australia, for example. My co-founder's in LA, and sometimes we go to a meeting and only to find out that the meeting is off because it's Labor Day or Juneteenth or something like that that I was not aware of. And so we will send you notifications, and I'll get notifications as well because we're building it for ourselves too. So you are aware what is the situation, and you never come to a meeting that never happens or something like that. There will be also notifications for time changes, so you will know that if there's in any of the locations there's a time change, you will be alerted of that as well. So you don't show up at your meeting early, for example, or late. Another thing is we are working on the widgets. So there's lots of people who wanted widgets, and one of our apps was actually really popular because it had a widget. And unfortunately, Apple changed a lot of stuff related to widgets over the course of the past 5 years or so. And so now finally they're giving developers really good tools. Not ideal, but they're much better than they used to be for widget creation. And so we are creating really cool widgets. I'll talk about this in a separate video. But the widgets are coming. That's the main message here. Another thing that is pretty unique is the AI assistant. So you can see this button here, and if you press that button, you will see an assistant, and you can ask this assistant any question about the time zones. What's the time in Beijing? What's the difference between some time and the other time? It can do clever, like, pretty elaborate calculations. And so if you use ChatGPT or something like that for your time-based questions, it will hallucinate a lot. It will not understand it will not provide you with the correct information about the differences, but it will sound very confident. So it's really hard to use it for this. So we trained our own model to do the calculations properly. So you can ask stuff like, what will be the difference between Sydney and Dubai in spring? And then it will figure out whether there's any time changes that are going to happen and what the time difference will be, and give you the correct answer. You can also ask the assistant questions like, challenge me, and it will give you a quiz about time zones. So you can actually entertain yourself as well with it. The whole idea is that sometimes you have an allocation that you really want to quickly check, but you don't necessarily want to add it to your clock. Like, hey, what's the time in Singapore? Maybe you don't have anyone in Singapore, but you just need to know right now. And you used to need to go and add a new location and then add it to your clock and then figure out what the time will be. Now you can just click the assistant button, ask what the time in Singapore is, and you will get a response like this. Time in Singapore, boom, this is the time. And yeah, you can actually quickly add it to your clock, or you can add the widgets for Singapore, and you can keep talking as well. So we hope that you like it. We think it's pretty cool. You can also text this assistant as well, so you can switch between voice and text input. So that's the assistant. Yeah, so that's the quick first look at what's going on. You will soon receive builds, but for now we thought that we want to talk to you about what we're working on. And so if you have already some feedback, please let us know. Another thing that actually I forgot to mention is you will be able to click this button here, and you will be able to select the exact time and date where you want to move. So say if you want to schedule something a half a year from now you don't have to rotate your clock face forever until you get there. You can just select the date and it will go there, and you will be able to figure out what the times are there. So yeah, thanks so much for your support. Thanks for joining our chat. Thanks for your feedback. Please keep it coming, keep it raw, and keep it real. Thank you again. Have a good one. Bye.